Hey everybody, this is Doa back with another StarCraft 2 broadcast. I'm sure you're already familiar with me saying that every game. I promise I'll think of something new eventually. Whoa, Liquid HuK already going to work saying, let's go party, work that body, to his opponent, which is none other than IdrA. I'm not going to say IdrA, it is IdrA for the record. IdrA has even said it's IdrA, so let me put that to rest right now. And we do see them spawning in cross positions on Lost Temple. HuK will be our blue Protoss, of course, spawning at about the 7 o'clock position, and IdrA will be our red Zerg. He does prefer red, I believe. I haven't seen him pick any other color in any other tournament, but we'll have to see what he does. And this, as far as I know, is just a ladder game. This was actually part of a replay pack that was released by Team Liquid in their Team Liquid Weekly number 19. They released a HuK replay pack. I saw HuK versus IdrA, and I'm like, I'm going to cast that. So no idea how good this game will be, but with two players of such caliber, I can imagine it'll probably be pretty entertaining. Right now, we're following the probe of HuK as he starts to do a little bit of scouting. Kind of an early scouting probe for HuK, but on such a huge map, that's not such a bad thing. He's not going to find IdrA there. IdrA is, of course, up here, and IdrA is sending his Overlord across to see if his opponent is in the closest position possible on Shakuras Plateau. Not finding him, obviously. So yeah, Shakuras Plateau, great map for Zerg, a lot of space to run and jump and play if you're a Zergling, and just a lot of room to maneuver in general. Zerg, like lots of open spaces, so that's basically why this is so good. Wow, what a thrilling description of the map that was. It looks like IdrA is putting up his pool, and actually IdrA going pool before hatch, which is a little bit surprising, actually a lot surprising. We do see this probe down here just waiting for that hatchery to be attempted to be put down. HuK, of course, known for having very, very good probe control and probe harass, so don't read into that any more than you really need to. But anyway, IdrA deciding to go for the pool first, not even wanting to deal with that harassment from HuK right now, continuing to send his overlords across the map. If we go back to HuK space, he does have gas and a gateway on the way, but not much else, so still kind of waiting for the builds to develop for each player. IdrA is getting gas. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw him get Zergling speed very early on this map. Of course, you want your Zerglings to be able to move around as fast as possible, and IdrA is starting to chase away that probe, and HuK responding by putting down a pylon right away. He may end up canceling that if IdrA comes down with the Zerglings that we do see in production here. Otherwise, he may let it finish too. It kind of depends. I've seen him do both. Zerglings coming in now. I think he's got to cancel that. He is going to put another pylon down as well. No, not actually canceling it. Wow, letting the pylon go in. Holy cow, no, he canceled it at the very last second. That was about as close as you can get to letting a pylon warp in. He is going to probably cancel these other pylons as well. That one does get canceled, and this one gets canceled too, just milliseconds from finishing. So wow, HuK excellent control with that as well, and we do see the expansion for IdrA going down right now. In the meantime, IdrA doing a little bit of scouting of his opponent's base. Warp Gates is up and running, a second gateway on the way, and 2 gas already, so HuK going into definitely a gas-intensive build, putting down a 3rd gateway as well. So now the question is, will there be a 4th gateway or a robotics facility at this point? I would imagine we're probably going to see something like that. Doubt we're going to see a Stargate in this game, just because in my experience you usually don't get that many gateways if you are going to go into Stargate so early in the game. But yeah, just waiting to see what HuK decides to do. In the meantime, we do have a Zergling down here waiting to see if HuK is planning on doing any sort of early expanding. Doesn't look like he is, and he does have a complete wall off here with the Zealot on hold position. So the Zerglings are not going to be able to go in and do any sort of scouting. We do have an Overlord starting to sneak up though. Meantime, if we go back to the base of IdrA, Zergling speed is about finished, and he will be going for that lair right away as well. Very quick lair for IdrA, even before his second base is even finished. It should complete very quickly. Queen eagerly awaiting the opportunity to vomit larva all over it. And who wouldn't, really? I mean, if I was next to that hatchery, I couldn't wait to vomit larva all over it myself too. Looks like HuK bring out a sentry as well, which is going to be nice and useful for pushing back these Zerglings. And IdrA's not going to waste any units at all pulling back right now. Speed does just finish for IdrA though, so he may be able to actually sneak past and get into the base. He may be, actually no, thinking of taking out that sentry. Going after the probe for just a moment. IdrA keeping those Zealots on the run. Losing 2 of them there, but those Zealots are definitely getting their cardio. In the meantime, it looks like back at the base of HuK, nothing new developing quite yet. Still just on those 3 warp gates. I've got a feeling he's actually planning on expanding. There is the Nexus right now. And of course, because I said he wasn't going to go Stargate, he went Stargate. And there one is, producing a Void Ray right now. Thank you, HuK. We do have a gas going down at IdrA's natural expansion, as well as a Roach Warren now. So IdrA is going to be on the lookout for any sort of ground force, I suppose, that would have to do with Roach defense. I don't really know where I was going with that. He's building a Roach Warren. What more do you want me to say? Anyway, it looks like back at the base of HuK, we do have some Zealots and some sentries guarding that ramp as well. First Void Ray has just spawned for HuK, and looks like he's going to wait for a second one before pushing out right now. Interestingly enough, we do have IdrA researching Burrow as well, so doing the burrowed Roach thing. He's got the Roach speed on the way as well. And that's a good way to kind of sneak underneath this ramp and get into your opponent's base, so that may come in very handy later in the game. Of course, games on Shakuras Plateau, especially in spawning positions like this, tend to be a little bit longer, so I wouldn't be surprised if we'll see this game go for quite a bit yet. Looks like HuK is getting a Forge as well, so possibly a few cannons to sustain his natural, and he can also get those upgrades going as well for his gateway units, always a good thing to get going. Second gas for IdrA as well. Not really showing any sign of any future teching, just Speedlings and Roaches with Burrow right now. We do have these Zerglings keeping an eye on the ramp of HuK, waiting for any sort of units to move out. We do see HuK also getting a cannon as well. Doing a little bit of defense there. Two Void Rays now moving across the map for HuK. We're going to have to see if they can cause any sort of damage at all. Moving into range of the creep, they are going to take out that tumor fairly easily. And what does IdrA have to defend this? He does only have one Queen here. Hydralisk Den going down and an Evolution Chamber as well. These Void Rays getting to charge up on this Extractor. Queen's coming to take them out, but the Queens are going to go down very quickly to these. Actually, HuK may want to micro this one Void Ray away. This one Queen does go down. This Void Ray is going to go down unless HuK moves it away. He does move it away just at the last second, and IdrA will lose both his Queens, but moving ahead just in time to kill that Void Ray of HuK. So IdrA able to take out one of HuK's Void Rays, but in the meantime, HuK is loose in his base with a fully charged up Void Ray. This Overlord coming in to try to intimidate it. That doesn't work, so Overlord is going to run away. Another Queen coming out right now, but she is going to go down very quickly. If I look at the minimap here, I don't see any sort of counterattack from IdrA right now as well, though he does have some Hydras out right now, and that is going to force those Void Rays back very quickly. IdrA getting those Void Rays out just, or not Void Rays, those Hydras out just in time to protect against the Void Rays. We do see him also securing his third base now. HuK still menacing with those Void Rays, and at the same time moving out with a force of Zealots and Sentries across the map as well. He's going to need to be very careful. This Void Ray is almost dead, down to just 10 hit points. Hydra's able to take it out. HuK's still with 2 Void Rays, but the Hydras were able to take one of those 3 out, so HuK already having lost 2 Void Rays, possibly 3, I think just 2. And the range for the Hydras is just now finishing as well. HuK is going to try to take this third base out, and I think IdrA may just be thinking about sacking it. No, he is going to move into the Hydras to work on the Void Rays. In the meantime, the Zealots and the Sentries go to work on the Roaches, pushing them back very easily, but HuK is down to 1 Void Ray right now. Sentries coming in, doing a little bit of force field action, but HuK is going to be repelled, losing his last Void Ray. And it doesn't look like he's going to produce any more at this point. HuK retreating in defeat, and IdrA able to secure his third base, able to save it. That third base only at about half health too, so nice job with IdrA defending against that harassment by HuK. Looks like he is getting the missile upgrades level 1 as well, sending out a few overloads for speed to start spreading across the creep. Of course, Hydra is not much use if they're not on creep, so he wants to get that highway up as fast as possible. Meantime, we also do have an Overlord lurking up here as well, possibly for watching for more Void Rays or any sort of drops that may be happening. We also do have 2 robotics facilities being warped in by HuK as well, so HuK planning on going into, I would guess, probably Colossus if he can, as they are very good against Hydralisks, of course. IdrA moving up right now, getting a position to attack HuK. Roach is burrowing for just a moment and then unburrowing, and he is going to push right up the ramp. HuK doesn't have a whole lot to defend this. Nice force fields going down there, trapping a couple Roaches, but IdrA will move them back right away to make sure that they're within range. But there are a bunch of Stalkers up on the high ground, able to fire down on the forces of IdrA. IdrA burrowing again. HuK will, of course, want to use those robos to get out some observers as well. This Roach dying from the fire of the Stalkers. And right now, IdrA needs to get that Overlord in position to get a little bit of vision for these Hydras, but he will back away for just a moment. IdrA looking very beefy right now and significantly ahead in supply, actually, 143 to 83. IdrA just taking over this game very quickly. HuK in the meantime, as we see from the production tab, where is it? There's the production tab. He is getting that robotics bay as well, taking down those rocks. Where is that robotics bay? There it is, right with 2 more gateways it looks like. IdrA just massing up a very large Roach Hydra army at his base right now. Roach Hydra is so good against Protoss. HuK with a Phoenix right now. He's going to do a little bit of scouting there, possibly try to snipe off some overlords.